October 13th, 2023. I'm not 100% sure how I first discovered it. I vividly remember seeing behind the scenes stuff on TikTok and a trailer for it, but on that day, released a pilot for a new indie animated series created by Gooseworks and produced by Glitch Productions, The Amazing Digital Circus. I fondly remember watching the pilot that day and not really vibing with it. It wasn't horrible, but it was just hard for me to really get hooked. However, some people disagreed with me. Did I say some? I meant a lot. A lot. This pilot broke the internet harder than Wreck-It Ralph ever did, and became just as successful and beloved as the likes of Hazbin Hotel and its sister show Hell of a Boss. But I'm sure you already knew that if you use the internet regularly. As I said, I didn't initially vibe with the pilot when I saw it, but I did want to give the rest of the show a chance, given that there was only one episode at the time. Maybe the show will grow on me once I see the other. Oh, who am I kidding? You already know how I feel about the next 3 episodes. Now, I have made a few community posts about my distaste for the show, and I've talked about it a few times with friends and mutuals. So some of y'all already may know that I'm not the biggest fan of the series. I'm mainly making this video to share my opinion to a broader audience. With that said, let's talk about the Amazing Digital Circus and why I don't really like it.
Welcome to the circus!
So here's where it all starts. The Amazing Digital Circus takes place in a virtual world called... The fuck do you think? We see it's run by this dude named Kane. Gotta say, I love his design. Just something about the eyes in his jaw and the way the jaw moves, it's great. Easily my favorite design in the show. Through a song, we also meet the other residents of this world. Zubul, Gangle, Kinger, Ragatha, and Jax. During the song, a new character arrives, who apparently forgot her name when coming into this world. So Kane uses some roulette machine and picks Pomni for her name. Safe to assume that was the same deal with the other characters when they first arrived. Pomni is rightfully freaked out by all of this, but everyone else is pretty content with the position they're in. Kane often keeps everyone calm with little adventures he plans, and if you completely lose your mind, you turn to an abstracted monster. Now to start, I will give credit where credit is due. The comedy is pretty solid. Digital Circus is definitely a funny show. My favorite gags come from Kane and Bubbles' dynamic.
Whoa! Clean up on aisle U!
I'm on it, boss! Ow.
Why are you like this?
And Kinger and Jax have some funny moments too.
Wait, Pomni's not even here? Wasn't this whole thing for her?
Be quiet. I can't hear the escalator.
My comedy mask is broken again.
Ah! Oh! Gangle, you startled me.
The voice acting is also really great. Standout performances for me are being Lizzie Freeman as Pomni, Michael Kovac as Jax, Scene Chiplock as Kinger, Alex Rockhon as Kane, and Gooseworks herself as Bubble. And that's where I stop singing my praises for the show. Now, I don't have that many issues with the series as a whole. Just one thing. One thing that kinda ruins the show for me. This complaint might be a bit early to share in this video, given that it's only episode 1, but I think I should bring it up here, especially considering it's still an issue throughout the next few episodes. My biggest grievance with the show might just be how the premise is handled. Now on paper, the idea of people getting stuck in this weird zany virtual world and going on various different adventures sounds unique and interesting, but how it's executed in the show really highlights the major issue that comes with such a premise. I'm referring to how it affects the characters. With the show just immediately starting in the virtual world and having a bunch of people already stuck in it, that means we barely know anything about our main cast, and it makes it really hard to care. Now, I know there's probably going to be at least one person commenting that we're not supposed to know much about the main cast. Everything is supposed to be kept a mystery until future episodes. I hope anyway. And I totally understand that's what they're going for. But at the same time, I don't think it would have been a difficult choice to reveal some things about them. Just a little bit about these guys and their lives outside the world. Enough information to where I can give a shit, but still leave plenty open for future episodes. I really don't see why they didn't go down that path. It especially doesn't help that nobody seems to care about escaping. I understand that everyone aside from Pomni have been there for years, and they have to stay calm in order to not turn into monsters. But you'd think escaping would still be on their mind, right? What about the real lives they're missing? And the real friends and family who are worried about them? But no, not once do they mention a desire for escaping. It's really weird. I guess it would make sense if some people gave up and stopped trying to get out, but the fact that it seems like everyone is like this, it's kind of weird and annoying, honestly. If nobody cares about getting out, then why the hell should I care? Whatever, I guess now is a good time to talk about these characters individually. Already talked about Kane. I kinda like him. He's pretty funny, especially his interactions with Bubble, and his design is cool. Then there's Zooble. She's a snarky bitch who doesn't really get involved with the adventures. That's about it. Gangle is constantly sad. That is literally her only trait throughout these first 3 episodes. She is very, very boring. Kinger is the most unhinged of the group, and like I said, he can be pretty funny. Ragatha is the most reasonable. She definitely has some purpose, but there's not much to her beyond that either. Jax is an asshole. Again, not much to him, but his douchiness can be kind of funny, especially with Michael's vocal delivery. Then we have our main character, Pomni. Oh boy. This pilot might just be the worst introduction to a protagonist I have ever seen. Pomni definitely has every right to panic in the situation she's in, but dear God, that is all she fucking does throughout this entire pilot. She literally doesn't show any other traits or interests, and yet this character managed to win so many people over. I will never understand. Pomni fucking sucks in this episode, and she doesn't get much better in the next few. Not much to say about the rest of the episode, honestly. The adventure involves the gang going after these shape things. They run into some giant slug thing. Apparently there was another member of the circus, some clown dude, who was abstracted, and at the end of the episode he gets dealt with pretty easily, thanks to Kane placing him in the room with the other abstracted monsters. Next. This episode is where you first see a world outside the circus, the setting being a candy kingdom, where their supply of syrup has been stolen by a group of thieves, so our heroes have to get it back. They're given this truck by the candy princess, and chase after the bandits. The chase itself is honestly kinda slow and weightless, mainly due to how we mostly see the characters inside their respective vehicles throughout it. It's lame. You will never be Peppino. Eventually, the 2 trucks crash land in different areas. Pomni and the leader of the thieves, Gummy Goo, fall into this virtual area, and the others land into a chocolate river where they meet this monster. In the virtual area, Gummy Goo sees NPCs of his colleagues and himself, realizing he's nothing more than an NPC for a game, and has an existential crisis. Pomni does try and comfort him, saying that in her world, the real world, people tend to feel worthless in some way. Pomni also admits she's felt that way in some points. Yeah, that was actually an arc she had throughout the episode. This was never hinted at in the pilot, and it's seemingly resolved at the end of this episode. At least they showed more than her just panicking, I guess. Anyway, this scene is actually pretty good. Gummy Goo being a shallow character actually benefits him, because he really is just an NPC for a game, and they actually do something with that fact. Once he found out about this, and his worldview started to crumble, I genuinely felt for him. This is also a bit of a detriment to the show, but we'll get into that later. Anyway, Pomni and Gummy Goo escape, they all head back to the kingdom, and bring back the syrup. And the gang go back to the circus, where Gummy Goo can be part of the casting.
Looks like one of these guys made it through.
Wait, what?
Okay, never mind.
My wife is dead. She's my nut rat.
This adventure takes place in a haunted mansion, where there's some mystery the gang, except Zooble because she's staying behind again, and there's a subplot where Kane wants to know why, have to solve the mystery involving the owner, Milen Hall. Once the gang enter, Pomni and Kinger get sucked into the monster door from Weird Dreams.
Dude, nobody's gonna get that reference. I don't even know what Weird Dreams is because I'm actually normal.
Okay, well, it's some obscure computer game from the late 80s.
Why the fuck would you even make a reference like that? Even if we did acknowledge that no one was gonna get it.
I don't know, that monster door did kind of remind me of that game, and you know, I think this back and forth could really encourage people to look up the game, actually.
The Amazing Digital Circus is an incredible show, by the way. It puts that trash hell of a boss to shame, and that digital circus written by MC Pop Bean is 100% accurate and funny.
Oh, get the fuck out already. Anyway, yeah, Kinger and Pomni get stuck in the basement, and they hear tapes left by Barden. First off, what's with the lighting here? It's fucking atrocious. I get that it's a dark area, but dear lord, I should not have to turn off all the lights in my room just to see it properly. Anyway, Barden was hunting this demon, cause he's a hunter, and he got too obsessive and accidentally killed his family. Turns out the demon actually survived, and admittedly it does look pretty cool. Pomni and Kinger try going up the elevator, but end up going down further where they find a shotgun with the corpse of Barden.
Please don't come alive.
Okay, I won't.
Okay, that's pretty funny. The demon catches up to our duo and they shoot him. But it turns out the demon was actually an angel, as said by the tape down there, so Pomni and Kinger are sent to hell for all eternity. I get this hell is supposed to look and feel different from the hell we'd expect, but again, I can't make anything out because the stupid lighting is so bad. Anyway, it's time for the big sad moment everyone talks about. I don't like this part very much.
What did you say?
Pomni starts feeling hopeless, as it feels like whenever they're doing something right, the situation just gets worse. Kinger tries to comfort Pomni, even bringing up his wife. Yeah, you know, Kinger's wife. That very important character that was foreshadowed via a tiny blink you don't miss an Easter egg in episode 1, and a slight little mention in this episode.
You look beautiful, honey.
Yeah, this kinda came right the fuck out of nowhere. They should have at least had a broader line or two in this episode, or in the past two about it to give it some importance. But nah, let's just have one little Easter egg and one vague throw line before the big, sad moment. So Kinger says that his wife got abstracted, and he saw her in a dark area before they separated. Which does explain why Kinger tends to have a more focused mind in dark areas. Another issue is the fact we barely know anything about Kinger's wife. Would have been nice to show flashbacks of Kinger and the wife actually interacting and spending time with each other, so I could feel something. I can't freaking feel bad for Kinger here. Not just because of the fact we barely know about him, because this stupid flashback is so vague. Anyway, the two manage to escape thanks to Kinger glowing when he's holding his breath. This is a plot point that was set up in the beginning of this episode, where different things happen to each guy when they hold their breath. So that's admittedly kinda cool. So what about the subplot with Kane and Zubul? Well, Zubul says that she's too hyper-focused on the body she was given to care about the adventures. I'm a bit conflicted on this, because yeah, it's also kind of vague, and I think being weirded out by the way you look could apply to anyone entering the circus. But I don't know, maybe this could be an issue Zubul has in the real world. As for Kane, he starts to feel insecure about his ability to create adventures, after Zubul points out the flaws of them. Something we also see in this episode, as I mentioned earlier, with Pomni and Kinger doing what they're supposed to do, but still failing to do some BS loophole. And that's the one thing Kane knows how to do. I'd probably feel more bad for Kane if we actually knew what his deal was. He could probably be an advanced AI, and if that's the case, I think it would have been better if we knew that from the start. I think him being an AI makes a lot of sense, given that he seems to have a lot of control over the game. And that way this moment could actually hit harder. Not everything has to be kept a mystery after all. That's all I really got for this episode, moving on.
I'll take a double triple bossy deluxe on a raft, 4x4 animal style.
Fast Food Masturbation is the cartoon episode of all time. It has a plot, it stars characters, and it certainly has a fast food place as the primary setting. Yeah, don't have many strong feelings about this one. This is a Gangle-focused episode, where she's given a new mask by Zubul to hide her constant sadness. Gangle is then put in charge of the latest adventure, where the gang work at a fast food place called Spudsy's. Throughout the episode, Gangle puts on this overly happy persona thinking it's from the mask, when in actuality, she's having a difficult time keeping her shit together, under all the pressure from being manager. I will say her animation is really expressive and fun to watch. Gangle's new mask is supposed to be a metaphor for masking depression, and by the end, Gangle learns that it's okay to feel sad. This arc isn't badly written per se, it is a bit generic, but maybe I would have felt a little more from this if, say it with me everyone, we actually knew a bit about her real life. The rest of the episode is just whatever. A lot of it is just hardy har har doesn't working in retail suck, and hardy har har Ragatha is high off of the purple sauce. There was a reference to the 1994 SNES classic Balls. Apparently Gummigoo does come back. He doesn't contribute too much to the episode. Apparently he doesn't remember Pomni for some reason. That might get developed a little more, but like, why are we even giving this much attention to a random side character when we have a whole cast of leads who are boring walking stereotypes with little to no other character traits? Whatever, that's all I have to say. Let's get to the conclusion. The Amazing Digital Circus is a show that has a lot going for it. Nice animation, great voice acting, good comedy, and the more character-focused emotional beats could be effective. It's just the premise of the show and how it's executed that's really killing my investment in the series. I should reiterate, I understand that we're not supposed to know that much about the characters as of now, but if you're gonna have a show where the characters are stuck in a virtual world, we should at least get a little information about your main cast. Just enough so I can get a good idea of who they are. Especially 4 episodes in. To make things worse, the show's seemingly only gonna have 9 episodes. I understand this is a creative decision by Gooseworks, but this doesn't mean it's gonna be a good decision. I think a show like this could and should go on for longer. Not exactly sure how long, but definitely more than 9 freaking episodes. Because of this, what if we never end up learning any real world information about these guys? What if they never escape the virtual world? What if this whole journey was for nothing? This should go without saying, but if you like the show, that's fine. Feel free to enjoy the show all you want and stay invested. At the very least, I hope you understand where I'm coming from. With that said, I think I'm going to stick around for the next 5 episodes. I might as well, right? I made it this far. And I'm hoping that there's something in these next 5 episodes that redeems the show for me. This might be hopey I'm talking, but I still hope my concerns for the show's future end up being wrong. Again, if you like the show, that's absolutely okay. But if you ask me, the Amazing Digital Circus is anything but amazing. Well, this should be my last video for the year. Happy holidays, you filthy animals. I'll see you all next year.